In the grand theater of our solar system, we often look at the giants, marveling at Saturn's rings or Mars's red sands. But there is one world we often ignore, a small, gray-battered rock hiding in the blinding and deadly glare of the sun. This is Mercury, the forgotten child of the system, long thought to be a boring dead moon with no secrets to ever tell. But Mercury is not just a rock. It is a victim and a survivor of the most violent event in cosmic history. Today, we visit this iron prison to understand why this tiny planet remains one of the most terrifying places in the entire universe. As we fly closer, the first thing you notice isn't the heat, but the incredible speed of this small and battered gray world. Named after the messenger of the gods, it screams around the sun at nearly 47 kilometers per second to avoid its massive gravity. While Earth takes a year to circle the sun, Mercury finishes its entire orbital journey in just 88 long and frantic days. Speed is its only defense. If it slowed down for even a second, the sun's gravity would swallow it whole without any mercy. But here lies a paradox. While it races through space, its own rotation is agonizingly slow, creating a very strange and long cycle. If you stood on the scorched surface, you would wait a long time for the sun to set in the black, airless sky. Mercury spins so slowly that a single day from sunrise to sunrise lasts 176 Earth days, which is truly hard to imagine. This means on Mercury, a day is actually longer than a year, an impossible cycle that only exists in this deep solar furnace. The sun here isn't the friendly yellow ball we know. It is a monster hanging in the black sky, larger than anything else. It appears 3 times larger and 7 times brighter than on Earth, literally scorching the ground with its intense and radioactive solar fire. If you watch it long enough, you will see something impossible. At certain points, the sun stops moving across the pitch-black sky. It moves backward and then forward again, a hesitating sunrise that is a cosmic glitch caused by the planet's very elliptical orbital path. This is gravity at work, pulling on the planet as its speed changes drastically while it rounds the massive and boiling solar heart. Looking at the sun here would kill you instantly, as Mercury has almost no atmosphere to protect its surface from the solar radiation. There is no blanket to spread the heat, creating a world of violent extremes that would destroy any human explorer in a moment. At noon, the ground beneath your boots hits 430 degrees Celsius, a temperature that would melt lead into a liquid puddle. Your spacesuit would turn to ash instantly, but once the sun sets, the heat escapes into the void and the temperature crashes down. It drops to minus 180 degrees Celsius, turning a pizza oven into a cryo chamber in a matter of just a few hours. But in the shadows of the North Pole, where sunlight never reaches, radar has detected something sparkling in the dark, silent, eternal craters. Billions of tons of water ice are frozen in the dark, existing just miles away from the burning and intense heat of the sun. Fire and ice exist side by side, but the strangest thing about Mercury is the massive, heavy iron core hidden deep inside it. Mercury is practically a cannonball in space, with a core made of solid iron that takes up 85% of the entire planet. The crust is just a thin shell, barely holding it together, making the planet far too heavy for its very small physical size. One theory suggests a violent past, where Mercury was once twice as big, until a cosmic wanderer slammed into it with devastating force. The impact stripped away the entire outer layer, blowing the crust and mantle into deep space and leaving only a naked iron core. Mercury is not a whole planet. It is the leftover seed of a world that was murdered at the very dawn of our system. And the trauma isn't over, as the core is still cooling and contracting, causing the planet to slowly shrink over billions of years. Imagine a grape turning into a raisin. As the core pulls inward, the ground buckles and massive cliffs tear across the gray landscape. These thrust faults are 3 kilometers high, towering walls of rock pushed up as the planet slowly crushes itself into a smaller prison. This is not a dead world, it is a dying one, shivering and slowly imploding under the pressure of its own ancient wounds. Visiting this hostile world is a difficult challenge. It takes more energy to reach Mercury than it does to reach distant planet Pluto. Spacecraft must fight against the massive gravity of our star, struggling to survive in the intense radiation of the innermost solar system region. Only two NASA missions have ever orbited this rock, revealing a world of beautiful chaos with craters named after the greatest human artists. Beethoven, Shakespeare, and Van Gogh have their names etched into the dust, surviving in a place where no human life could ever exist. But even our robots cannot survive forever. In 2015, the Messenger probe was allowed to crash after running out of its fuel. It slammed into the surface at 14,000 kilometers per hour, adding one more scar to the face of this battered iron survivor. Mercury stands as a scorched monument to the power of our sun, a world of iron and silence that has endured the fire. It is the smallest of us all, but it has survived for 4 billion years and will continue to endure long after we're gone. Its rotation creates a landscape of deep shadows and blinding highlights, where time seems to stand still in the absolute and silent vacuum. The sun watches like a giant eye as the planet shrinks, a prisoner of gravity, rolling through the dark furnace of the inner system. Each impact crater tells the story of a violent past, a record of every stone that has ever struck this unprotected and lonely world. The surface remains a graveyard of ancient collisions, where the dust of billions of years settles in the dark and airless impact basins. We look at Mercury and see the raw power of the cosmos, a place where matter is tested by the extremes of heat and cold. Its magnetic field is a thin shield, struggling to protect the iron heart from the constant bombardment of the solar wind and radiation particles. The planet's silhouette against the sun is a reminder of our own fragile existence in a universe that is often violent and totally unpredictable. We see the hollows on its surface, bright pits that suggest the planet is still changing and evaporating under the intense and nearby sun. The vast plains of Mercury are silent, a gray expanse that hasn't changed since the time the dinosaurs first appeared on our distant Earth. Every cliff and ridge is a testament to the planet's slow death, as it pulls its own rocky skin tighter around its cooling core. The ice at the poles remains a mystery, a remnant of comets that struck the planet and found refuge in the permanent, freezing shadows. Mercury carries the names of our greatest creators into the dark, a silent museum of human culture, orbiting the most violent star we know. The energy required to reach this world reminds us of how deep we must dive into the sun's gravity to learn its secrets. Our probes have left their own marks, small metal craters that will remain untouched for millions of years in the airless, silent void. The sun dominates the horizon, a golden king that provides light but also destroys anything that comes too close to its magnificent solar fire. We study these iron-rich rocks to understand how planets are born and what happens when they are stripped to their very core by violence. Mercury remains in exile, a world that doesn't fit the rules, a cannonball of metal that refuses to be swallowed by the solar abyss. Its story is one of endurance, showing us that even the smallest and most battered world can survive the most extreme cosmic events imaginable. We leave this iron prison behind, heading back to the warmth of Earth, but the memory of its silent struggle stays with us forever. The solar system is a place of wonder, but also a place of terror, and Mercury is the ultimate witness to that dark truth. As the planet speeds away on its orbit, we see it fade into the brilliant glare, a gray ghost lost in the golden light. Its iron heart continues to beat slowly, a dying engine in the dark, as the planet continues to shrink into its own cold prison. We look back one last time at the runt of the litter, the forgotten child that has seen more fire than any other world. The universe is not made for us, and Mercury is the proof, a world where life is impossible and only the iron survives. Keep looking up and stay curious, for even the smallest gray dot in the sky can hide a history of murder and cosmic resilience. The silence of Mercury is a story in itself, a tale of a world that was once great and is now just a seed. We fade to black as the sun consumes the horizon, leaving only the memory of the iron survivor in the deep, silent cosmic void.